So I'm here at Surat Thani railway station. This is an important railway station because it's like a hub for people to go to other places. You can get from here to, well, as I did, I went to Phuket, or you can go to Koh Tao, or you can go to Koh Samui or Koh Phangan. You can go to many places. You can even use this as a stop-off point if you want to go to the Andaman Sea resorts like Krabi. So although it's called Surat Thani station, I should point out it's actually about 15 kilometres from the centre of Surat Thani town, so you do need to bear that in mind. It's a little bit away from the piers that will take you to the islands, such as Koh Samui. Maybe I'll see behind me, there is a taxi service here. I think it's here like 24 hours a day basically, and they will take you for those set prices to all of the places that you want to go to. Now, in terms of booking a sleeper train between Bangkok and Surat Thani, you can go to any railway station in Thailand and book yourself up for one of those, or you can go on the internet, or you can do as what I did, which is to go on the application, on the app. So I'll give you some ballpark figures. They are just generalizations because train prices do vary depending if you want to sleep, you go on an upper berth or a lower berth. There's some newer rolling stock which is called the CNR train, and that's a little bit more expensive. You can also sleep in second class or just get a seat, right down to the cheapest, which is the third class. No air conditioning, just a fan to keep you cool. So first class, the price range is from approximately 1,200 baht to 1,600 baht in a sleeping carriage with air conditioning. If you want to book the room just for yourself, which normally would have two people in it, then the price range is about 1,900 baht up to about 2,400 baht. Moving down to second class for the air-conditioned sleeping compartment, then that is around 700 to 1,000 baht for a bed. If you just want a seat in a second class carriage with air conditioning, then that's around 500 baht. They do have second class carriages with only a fan, and that's around 400 baht, and the cheapest is the third class fan carriage, which is around 250 to 300 baht, depending on the train, depending on the time. One good piece of news about booking all of these trains is it's not very long ago, the end of last year, that you could only book 30 days in advance. But they introduced a rule change, firstly for the newer CNR trains, saying that you could book 90 days in advance, and they've now rolled that out for all of these long distance trains, and you can book 90 days in advance. And I do say to you, if you're thinking of travelling by train on these popular routes, try and book up early if you can, because sometimes the first class berths, they sell out within the first day of availability. There's a number of train services throughout the day. I'm going to leave at 10:50 at night, really because I want to get the sleeper train and I want to arrive in Bangkok at 8:30 in the morning. That seems quite a civilized time to arrive. It's quite a friendly station for foreigners. The first announcements are in Thai language, but there's always a translation into English language, so it is foreigner friendly. And just a little bit about transport between Surat Thani and Phuket itself. Well, probably there's 3 or 4 choices. Well, you could drive yourself, although I've just come in a taxi, and some of the roads are a little bit dark and the road surface is maybe not what you're used to. But you can get a minivan, and the minivans come in at about 330 baht, and they go from the Phuket bus station, not far from the old town. And those take approximately 5 hours, so if that's what you fancy doing, it's quite popular with backpackers and people like that. There's also an option of taking a big bus, a full-size bus. That takes a little bit longer, that's 6 hours. And again, that goes from one of the Phuket bus stations, and you need to book well in advance, because I did try to do that today and it was already fully booked. Now, the final option is a private taxi, and there are numerous services for private taxis between here and Phuket. I can tell you that I tried to book it on Bolt today. They were quoting about 3,000 baht from Phuket And just up here I can see on the poster there they say that they have taxi services for 3,500 baht. That is for a private taxi. In the end I did manage to find a taxi to bring me here, and he charged me 3,000 baht for a very nice taxi, very good service. So that's probably about the going rate right now. So there's a couple of companies that are operating onward travel to the islands. And the first one is by the Lumprayar ferry, and they will pick you up from Surat Thani station, take you to Don Sak Pier. So that's going to add about an hour and a half to your journey, and then the ferry will depart from there and arrive at Samui about 45 minutes later, 1 hour after that at Koh Phangan, and another hour and a half after that at Koh Tao. The best trains to catch for that are the ones that arrive at 5:34 and 6:32 in the morning. But you do have to wait for the minivan to depart at 9:30. Another company that operates to Koh Samui is Sea Trans Ferry. They will pick you up at the Surat Thani railway station at 8 o'clock, depart from Don Sak Pier at 11 o'clock, and arrive on Samui Naton Pier at 12:30. I haven't used either of those services, but I do want to in the future. Let me know in the comments if you've used that route or any other suggestions. And looking around the station itself, I expected to find a hive of industry, I must admit, but it is fairly quiet right now. There's a 7-Eleven store. I went to the one restaurant that was open, and even that was just about closing up when I got here at about 9 o'clock. So really, coming to Surat Thani railway station, it's the kind of place where you're passing through rather than staying here and exploring the local area. I actually filmed a few minutes ago. Now, it's all changed. They called out my name and informed me that there was a problem on the train, so I wouldn't be able to go in my first class cabin that I'd paid about 3,000 baht for. But for no extra expense to me, they were going to put me on a bus during the night to go to Bangkok, and that the bus was leaving shortly. Now, I really don't want to get on a bus all the way to Bangkok from here. So I've come up with another idea, which is I'll stay overnight in a hotel here at my own expense. No one's going to put me up in a hotel, as you might think would be appropriate. So I'm going to get myself a hotel, rest for the night and recover from the shock, and then go again in the morning. If you want to know what happened next, then please click on this video on screen right now. It was an adventure. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this guide to travelling from Bangkok to Surat Thani and onwards to Phuket or the islands. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.